T-shirt. Hello. Britt T-shirt. It just sharing my broadcast on Twitter for some reason. I don't understand, but who cares? Let's get on with it. Just my eyes. So, okay. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, mentoring, and the intro to the Rockstar Lawyer book today. I'm Lawyer Greg here with Rob Ashford, who is helping me write the Rockstar Lawyer book. And I'm going to find a nice spot, vantage point, and we're going to roll. That's pretty neat. If we could get that to hold. That works. What was it, a hold? And it appears that it will. Hayden, was that you?
Yeah.
You headed out?
What?
You headed out?
Oh,
Okay.
you came in last night and brought that stuff from the seminars, and you said let's take it in, right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
did it. Yeah.
I can't find it.
About what stuff?
You know, the tote bag that I had the forms in and everything?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's here because I got the information from the seminar. I can't find it. So I was going to use the leftover ones for tomorrow.
Can't find the whole bag?
Can't find the whole bag.
I thought maybe you took it back and put it in your vehicle.
It's not here.
Did you take it out and leave it at home?
Maybe.
You sure it's not here?
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not here. But I never know because I have other things sometimes.
What time do we have a seminar tomorrow?
I've got time. I just don't want to have to.
Do you have all the information from the seminar participants and everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what's so strange. Yeah. It may be at home, and I'm not going to disturb y'all. I mean,
Okay.
It's not that important. It wasn't that much of it. And I don't care about the tote bag. I just can't. I got to get on with me.
Okay, say hey, Hayden. We're periscoping.
Oh, hey!
There you go.
You don't have any cowboy boots, and I don't have on my flip flops.
No, none of that. So we're going to do a little something different. Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Y'all
see
have
ya.
a nice night.
Okay. So, man, so is everything going okay?
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah. Just trying to get through each little point, each subheading within the chapter. With regards to the entrepreneur chapter, what I would need, I think, is again, it would probably be around the your experience as an entrepreneur, what you have personally experienced from it, good, the bad, something there. So it's not just really saying what Google does or whoever. It is personalizing it.
Sure.
Because one of the things I have put in is
Let me pop up Evernote here where I've got the.
I sent this chapter to you, so you do have it.
Okay.
There we go.
I hadn't had time to breathe today. Let's check my email.
Shouldn't you be working out if you got to this time problem?
I don't know.
How can I make it worse? I'm supposed to put it is, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, what I did do on the entrepreneur chapter is add what you were saying about how can I attract great employees and keep them.
Right.
Because I was thinking about it, I was talking to Nancy about that the other day, and I just thought, well, that's we need that in that chapter. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of it, putting it in, but it made so much sense to me. Because I think it is something that people are concerned about nowadays.
Yeah, you're going to be able to have a talent.
Yeah,
I mean, that's if you look at Jobs' whole philosophy with Apple, it's just to get a talent in there,
right.
set a goal out there, a far-reaching goal,
Yeah.
right? Be a perfectionist and put them under pressure.
But then you also, with that, you're putting a lot of money into training people. You don't want to train them and get them to that point that you want, and then of course they often start up their own.
Okay, so then
down
you're
the road.
then you're talking. Well, okay, then you're talking. Well, it depends on if you're talking about your team or you're talking about with a law firm or with a CEO. You know, that's not such the concern with the team, but you know, if you're talking about team members, you want to make sure, I think, that you have a pay and benefit structure that is attractive. Okay,
Right.
you can't be scared to spend money.
Yeah.
And that's a key. And that's something that sometimes really limits people. Is they have this middle class, save a penny saved is a penny earned mentality.
Right.
If you have that mentality and you're worried about saving paper clips or pennies and stuff like that, then you're gonna feel like you can't spend money on things, employees, and it's gonna really hamper your growth. And you have to have teams, put together teams to grow. You have to be able to scale.
Right.
Unless you can piece out yourself in different portions of what you do as an attorney or as a CEO or whatever it is you do, and assign those tasks to other people, and you need good people. And I've made the mistake. Dude, entrepreneurship is about failure.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know if you said that before. If it was someone else that heard that.
You know, you hear people say things like that all the time. It's about failure and persistence.
Mhm.
Although, if you look at it from a positive perspective, there is no losing, only winning and learning.
Well, as long as you learn from your mistakes, it's not really.
There's no losing, but only winning and learning. You know.
So you'll have to put down what these mistakes were that you made. And how
I can talk about them too.
and how you corrected them.
Yeah. So you know, when I started out, man, I had no idea what it took to grow a firm. You're still learning every day. I look at it as just you have these breakthroughs and transitions. As the head, you know, your job description is constantly changing. It should be
Yeah.
as the salesman, the CEO, the representation, you're out front, you're going around drumming up new business, getting in new business. That should be ultimately your job. Okay, you know, you're charging up the troops, you're going to battle. You're making sure that everything's running right on a daily basis. But really, you know, the bigger your firm or your company gets, the more you're going to need to train people under you to be under bosses, if you will, right? And managers.
Yeah.
Manager role. When you're talking about hiring team members, and like I said, you got to put together an attractive retirement, healthcare if you can. I think your goal is to get to a point where you can offer healthcare. And right now, in today's economy, in today's healthcare system, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. And but I think it is achievable with 50 employees or more. And that should be your goal, in my opinion. Why would you aim any smaller than that? I think your goal is much bigger than that. It should be.
So you think there should, for a start, there should be a goal as to how many people you'd want working in your firm to start off with? Like if you're a solo practitioner, for instance.
Depends on it really depends on what your aim is. You might be a boutique firm that's located in Miami Beach, or not Miami Beach, in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, right? And only does high-end estate planning.
Mm-hmm.
And you want a select few attorneys in there and a crack staff that's really good. And that's what you do. That's all you do. And you form allies and connections with financial institutions in New York City, for instance. Okay? And that's your connection. And you know, and that's your whole business model. And you could build that on that business model and really have a very lucrative firm, right?
Right.
It just
Yeah, if
depends
you're
on what your end
specialising,
goal
if
is,
you're really specialising,
right? Your goal may be to have a satellite in every city over 30,000 people in the U.S. That's a different goal. Your goal may be to have a large firm that has 100 attorneys under one roof.
Right.
But you need to define that goal and start heading toward it as quickly as possible. And you just can't be scared to burn through money to get there. Because what you're really doing is you're learning and you're using resources, and money's fluid. And if you're concentrating on selling your legal services, providing good service, then the money's going to be there to spend.
Right.
Your issue in the legal field, as opposed to a traditional business or another business, is that in the legal field, you can't necessarily raise money and capital like you can in a traditional business. It's very limiting. So I can't do an additional public offering, an IPO, for a law firm to raise a ton of capital. The capital has to come from, I could get a credit line or something like that, okay? I think I could have investors that were other attorneys that were with me, that were contributing. But unless they're an attorney, you can't partner with them in any way or take any money from them. So it's very limiting as far as growth goes. So you have to be smart about how you grow.
Well, how many people do you want working in your ideal firm? If you had that number in your head, what would it be at the moment?
It would be every city over 30,000 people in the U.S. would have an attorney working there along with an administrative person.
Oh, so you have multiple offices around the U.S. That's
Small satellites that we would control from a larger mothership. And perhaps maybe one mothership per state.
all right.
Or one central base per state, where you've got people working and working on legal documents and other things, services for clients.
So would they technically be like franchises? Or not exactly franchises, but based around that idea that they're somewhat independent, or?
I think the trick would be to keep them dependent.
Yeah, because it would be tough to be that.
If you made them totally independent and autonomous, then why do they need me?
Right, but wouldn't it be correct? It would be a hell of a task to run that many firms.
What's one
I mean,
firm?
you would have to. Well, technically one firm. Yeah.
Yeah. Edward Jones has done a really good job of that from a financial perspective. Being based out of, say, St. Louis and having multiple smaller representatives in each town. It's a very similar model.
I suppose as long as you've got your plans and your systems up and running exactly.
You have to have your systems so that, I think, for me, there's a measure of control there, but that kind of conflicts with trust too. So, right, so you want to have a great relationship with whoever you bring on.
Right.
And then you have to define who is that person that's not going to. How, the real trick for me at this point, I'll tell you, is how to hire other attorneys and keep them, not train your competition.
Right.
And I think there's a double-edged sword there. Well, I think there's a twofold approach, which is offering sufficient pay and benefits. One, security, right? And then two, keeping a measure of control over ownership of the documents, the files, the resources to create the services.
Okay.
And that comes through crafting systems, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be more along the lines of, not meaning anything by this, but McDonald's with their system, it's so good that they can literally get high school kids to run a.
Yeah, so I'm not at all offended by that, okay? And I'll tell you why, okay? Because you're exactly right. And that's a perfect point, is their systems are so good, okay, that you can train virtually anyone to run it. I would prefer a Chick-fil-A model, where they have such great customer service, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they do. They just train great employees, great. Makes me mad how good their customer service is. How may we serve you, sir? I'm like, shut up. You don't really mean that. You're not being genuine, you know what I mean? Be more genuine. Tell me you hate your job. Act like it, But no, they seem to really enjoy it, and they have great systems, So yes, if you can refine your systems down that way, but I think for a law firm, you want that would be the goal. Okay, that would be my goal, is to get the systems down. I couldn't agree more.
So who was your no, that's kind of, I'm on the wrong chapter. All right, just out of interest, with regards to the early mistakes made, is there one that just stands atop all the others that you don't mind talking about on camera? If you do mind, just put it in an email. Something that you thought, okay, that you learned from in general.
There are a lot of things that I learned from.
Or something that people coming out of university.
Number one, you have to realize how little you know. And you have to be open to failure and to experimentation in your business, okay? And you're going to be afraid.
Right.
And you have to understand that when fear happens, instead of running away from something, you need to go toward it.
Run towards the fire.
Yeah, but just like when there's fear in the market, everybody sells. Well, there's somebody on the other end buying, okay? And they understand that concept.
Yeah, that was Rockefeller's, one of his big quotes was, when there's blood in the streets, that's the time to buy.
There you go. That's exactly right. So yeah, I mean, it's like a half off sale, right?
Right.
So yeah, if you've got the cash, the capital, right? So learn to, I like that, run towards the fire. Because you're going to be scared to step outside of the box of what other people are doing. And most of those other people are your smart friends that are also attorneys or mentors, right?
Yeah.
And that might be totally different than what your idea is. So don't be afraid to be different. And don't be afraid to spend a little money, because that's going to hurt. You're not going to be able to get the concept of walking from where you are right now across the divide to where you want to be, and trusting that the bridge is going to form under your feet as you go. So the concept that it's not really spending money, it's making an investment on an employee that's going to, in return, almost immediately generate you income.
Yeah, you've got to trust in your own. You've got to trust in that.
And creating
faith.
Yeah, so your problems are going to get bigger, which is going to bring more fear as you do that. The more you do that, And that's awesome. And you have to understand that. You want big problems to solve. And you'll solve those problems just like you would little problems. Because, you know, if you're of the mentality that this is what you want to do anyway, and you persevere, then you're a problem solver and you're going to solve the problem just like you did in any other area of your life or any problem that you've ever had. So ignore the fear, run toward the fire, create huge problems, attack those problems, and don't wait. Do it quickly. Time is your enemy. Make decisions and move forward. Regret and second thought dude, those are wasted. That's wasted time and emotion. That can take you down into a dark place.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be there. So mistakes, I've made lots of mistakes. Negativity. That's a huge mistake. And that's a mindset you can get into, especially in the legal profession or in a high pressure job. And everybody around you is going to be negative and belly aching about everything, okay? And if you start doing that, man, it just takes you down a dark path. If you're down at the courthouse or wherever, you know, it's just, you got to stay above the noise. You got to stay above the negativity. I mean, you know, in my opinion, you know, growth and forward movement only exist in a positive environment.
Yeah.
If you got
positive, but you've really got to be out of your comfort zone as well, which isn't a form of negativity, of course, but it can be looked upon as a form of negativity. If you're not comfortable in the situation. But you've got to be out of your comfort zone. Really,
I say you want to stretch. I mean, I look at that as running toward the fire or facing fears, right? Yes, every day you need to stretch. Every year you need to stretch. Stretch big, not a little, okay? Because you can stretch. You're not going to break. You know, you're not going to snap. I think you have to stretch. You have to stretch your problem-solving ability, your finances, your comfort zone. That's where you want to learn to live, is in the uncomfortable realm. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I mean, that's really a great place to be. Yeah. And there's nothing more satisfying than just jumping off the ledge in the morning, going for it all day in a really uncomfortable way, and in the end, being extremely comfortable and extremely satisfied with what you accomplished that day. That's what it's like. You gotta jump, man. And speaking more specifically, that could be hiring a new employee. That can be getting an office that's much larger than you need. Why would I get an office if I had 3 or 4 employees? If I was a solo practitioner, why would I get an office that had 7, 8 offices?
Only to push yourself to fill the offices, I guess.
Yeah, and it's not even going to be that much of a push. You're going to fill them up.
How big was your place before this one? Was it smaller than this?
It was, yeah, small. And I need a place that's at least double this size right now.
Right.
And that's what I need, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To not limit my thinking or my expansion possibility.
Expansion possibility, I like that as well.
I mean, your mind is just going to find ways to fill up the space and make use of the space that you have. Every single day. You're going to work to do that. If you're like me, you're not going to be satisfied until you do it. And you're going to fill it up with productive people working on solving problems for people. Is there a critical mass at some point? Perhaps. I have a friend who committed to a 7-year lease in another town in a really prime location and for like a huge office. I mean, it's much bigger. It's probably 3 times as big as this office.
And I'm assuming at the time he did it, he didn't actually.
He's doing
He
it
couldn't
now.
fill it, but he did.
He can't fill it right now.
No.
Right. But he will either fill it with associate attorneys and staff this year, or if he comes to a point where it's not happening yet, what do you have? You've got a bigger problem.
Right.
He has a big. How do you solve that problem? How might I solve that problem if I got to a point where, well, it's just not happening as fast as I want it to, right? The growth.
Get it out to.
Dude, sublease. Man, sublease part of it to a financial planner. Sublease part of it to another attorney. Create more opportunities and possibilities. It's a bigger problem to solve. That's the point. In fact, I'm mad that I didn't do that yet.
Yeah, that's the next.
But if you meet with a CPA, right, or somebody who doesn't understand that the bridge is going to form under your feet because you're going to solve those problems. And the universe works kind of that way too. I'm just telling you. Once you line everything up and take that jump, okay,
Oh yeah.
it's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that just come into your life and things will happen. You'll be like, oh wow, that's amazing.
Well, the idea that if you don't start going for these things, you're just not gonna.
You know what is a great.
You're not gonna find them anyway.
Well, Bob's in this book, right? Bob's going to be in this book. That's what I mentioned.
Bob Diggins?
Yeah, Bob Diggins. He had a great quote the other day. Greg, you can't fuck it up. You can't fuck it up. You have to understand that you cannot fuck this up. And that's what if you can get in that mindset, then you understand that where you're dealing from is a good place. It's a positive place. You're trying to solve problems for people in an honest way. You need to employ people to be able to help you do that. And you need to create big problems for yourself.
Right.
You're going to solve those problems along the way. And once you do, it's kind of like, just climbing to the next level, right? The question is, how far up do you want to climb? How quickly you want to climb? And that's all up to you.
Right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Right. Yeah, you could fail, but
And
you
you-
can start again.
But usually it's not that way. Usually it's not failing and starting again. It's never that way. It's more like, instead of failing and starting again, it's more like this.
Yeah. Well, for someone who is an entrepreneur,
Right.
through and through, who knows what they want, knows that they're moving up, they're going to get there no matter what. I don't know if the majority of people think that way. I think most people will think if they fail, they will. Yeah, absolutely.
It's fear.
Yeah,
It's a fear-based way of thinking.
if they fail, I mean, I think that's why so many people
Like
don't.
what?
Don't
So
make
what
it
you have
work.
to do is face that fear. Now,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So, and just be fearless. Okay. So what are you scared of when you start? When you bite off that big payment for rent, for instance.
I think people would generally be afraid that they would lose their house, they'd lose their income, they'd just be out of money.
So rent an apartment.
Right.
I don't know why you'd want to be tied to a house anyway, or one piece of dirt. Dude, that's a middle class mentality.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm serious. That's a middle class mentality. Why do you want to be tied to one piece of dirt somewhere on the planet Earth? Do you think that somebody who's a billionaire gives a crap about whether he owns the house he lives in? No.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go where you're doing business.
Right.
It just doesn't matter. I mean, dude, I'm not a landlord I don't own houses for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm an attorney right now and a builder of businesses. Multiple. And writer of books and Eldorado superstar, and so it doesn't matter where you live if you're tied to that. So that should be, what's the worst that could happen then? is maybe you owe some money. You think you can't go out the next day and rent another space? Of course you could.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have a momentary trip to the bar or something, you know, and a pity party. Hopefully you wouldn't even skip that beat, but you know, maybe you do that for a few days. Then hopefully you're gonna get your head up and you're gonna go out and rent another space and do the next thing, which is gonna, you know what, and you know what you just did? You actually, if you look at it as an evolutionary process, you just eliminated the first crappy idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're on to the better one. So usually it's a better solution. It's a culling process.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is such a culling process. So it's you're bettering yourself with each failure. And you, how much did you learn from that first experience?
Oh, huge.
Huge. It's a huge investment. This is a tough place to be fearless. It's a tough place to be for most people. But the more you can,
people, because they aren't. Yeah.
Because they operate from a place of fear.
Right. I mean, even you mentioned the other day,
Which is really stems from a lack of trust in themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned the other day about Steve Jobs phoning up the IBM guy when he was nine or
He didn't
something.
have any inclination that normal people just don't do that,
Right.
or that his place was not one that couldn't do that. You know,
I think people would want to do that, but they wouldn't be able to.
dude, that's
They just wouldn't be able to pick that phone
yeah.
up. It would be the idea would just be either too ridiculous or too.
So here's an exercise. And did I already put this in there?
They call 5
Yeah,
people
yeah,
to
yeah.
scare the shit out
Yeah.
of them. Yeah. I think that's a great
Yeah,
exercise.
dude.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna do that. I do that with things like that every once in a while. That's how I get. You know, that's why Bob Cummings is gonna come look at my office, and then we're gonna go to eat and hang out the afternoon, and he's gonna tell me in his opinion what I should do, right? Which will be invaluable advice. Some of it, like some of it. I mean, I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, but he'll have insight on. He's already been there before, you know. So
If we can get 10 pages of endorsements from different business people and attorneys, that kind of thing, fabulous. The more the merrier. And then you'll see these books with page after page after page right at the front of somewhat celebrities. Some of them aren't really.
oh, you mean like Bob endorsing the book?
Yeah.
I'm sure he would, bro. I'm sure he would. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna. I mean, I call people all the time. We've got a good network, but I need to expand. I'm calling 5 people that scare me right now. That I really would need.
Nancy would tell you need to get an office with a view, or the window where you could.
That's
sit
what she
and
tells
look
me.
out. Yeah.
That's what I need to get to.
The next one you need to have a window for yourself.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
I would look out over the square and his office is
yeah.
around this area, but
Or build one.
I'll build one, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we need the mothership. I'm gonna do that tonight.
Give me a call.
Trump,
That'll be a good one.
I just want to. Okay.
If we can get endorsement from him, you might as well just write bestseller on it straight off.
I'm calling Trump just because. Okay. Who else do I want to call? Yeah, because he's in the news all the time now. So, you know. So, I wish I could call Steve Jobs, but I can't do that. Michael Jordan. Childhood idol. I need to have a conversation with him.
I have to admit, I don't think I've ever seen him play basketball. Basketball in England.
I understand. I gotcha.
Cricket is another thing, but
Yeah.
basketball.
Understood. So, I don't know, I need to work on my 5. Trump, Michael Jordan. I'll work on my 5.
Yeah.
But I need to call. I'm gonna call. Those are 2. I need to call and start bothering them. You can write them letters, you know.
It's funny though,
Right,
even the
yes.
idea of putting a name down as number 1, you feel that hesitation to even put the name down on paper.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's weird. Yeah.
It's clearly a fear.
Putin. I wouldn't mind talk. I want to talk to Vladimir Putin.
Really?
I don't know why. I just do. I mean, like, dude, you have got so.
I mean, he's
Huge balls.
seriously powerful guy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. I might have some trouble with that one. Okay. But I'm just saying. You know, I'm gonna be like, dude, how do you how do you make these decisions with a straight face?
Can you think of the press you would get if you said with the local newspaper here that you had a chat on the phone with Vladimir Putin?
You know, I was talking with Vladimir. Who's Vladimir Putin?
They would have cams parked outside.
But I mean, if we're talking about who I'm going to talk to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Let me think of somebody else.
I would have to do Branson.
Richard?
Yep.
I like Richard. Yeah, Richard would be good. I'm going to put him down on mine too. Okay?
And he's also very big on the idea of entrepreneurship for, you know, getting the message out to other entrepreneurs. In fact, he's got a channel that he's started up, pitch.tv or something like that, where people are encouraged to go on there, pitch their ideas, and then he picks a winner and huge status,
You know,
celebrity, and everything.
Peter Thiel. I've read a lot about him. He does the Thiel Fellows, where he takes 20 people every year and pays them like $100,000 or something not to go to college and to go, and then funds their ideas. So he'll take them into like this university setting type thing, and then they just get all the resources they need. The best business people come in and just help them develop whatever ideas they have. The point is that traditional college is they kind of put those on traditional college environment that just kind of mechanically makes people a certain way, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And gets back to the basics where people are just, you know, coming out as young kids with bright minds and excitement, and given some resources and money to go crank out their ideas.
There was a physicist I read about called Lester Levinson. He died in like 2005, I think, but he was at university in New York studying physics, and he found that they were telling him, you've got to think for yourself, you've got to, you know, really get outside the box. But when he did, and he answered the questions the way he felt they should be answered, he got really low grades. And he studied what was happening, and he found that as long as you put what the lecturer was telling you, what they wanted to hear,
knowing your audience,
your marks went through the roof. And he just said,
so it discourages original ideas,
yeah, exactly.
original thinking.
They tell you to think outside the box, but if you do,
They don't really mean it.
No.
Yeah. So there you go. The universities are actually discouraging original thought.
Yes.
So that's the idea with Thiel Fellows. Thiel's one of the original PayPal guys, and he just has more money than he knows what to do with.
Okay.
He developed PayPal with, what's his name?
Musk.
Tesla. Yeah. So I'm calling Elon Musk. Okay.
He's interesting.
Dude, I mean, the guy gets married and divorced all the time though to like some supermodel or something. He does. Like, he cannot hold a relationship. Okay. I mean, maybe it's just because. If I had those resources, I'd be hard because I think he just works all the time. I saw this thing the other day where he was, it was some quote saying, you know, he put like 80 million in this company, you know, 20 million in this company, and 100 million in this company, I had to borrow money for rent or something like that, and it put it on this Facebook thing that I'm like this page that I'm like a member of, and it's about entrepreneurship and business, and there are people dogging him like, what an idiot, and I'm like, no, dude, he's all in, he's all in the businesses. He doesn't care. That's his life, I think,
Yeah, he doesn't care what other people
and that's awesome. Yeah. Or if he has money for rent, probably. Like, and building this has absolutely nothing to do with money for me. I mean, it'd be nice to have the freedom to be able to do what I want to do, but to be honest with you, I'd be working most of the time anyway. So I just you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you're not the type to just make enough and then go on the beach for the drink for the rest of your life.
No, maybe for a couple of days.
Yeah, maybe a couple of days, but it wouldn't be something that you just think, okay, I've made enough money,
Yeah.
sell the firm, go and lie on a beach.
No, I can't see
do
that.
it.
No, I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, we have a friend like that. He's always saying, well, I'm gonna.
Dude, I've got 2 Brits on here. You're influencing my list.
2 Brit? Oh.
I told you already said
Don't call him a Brit.
Elon is a Brit. He's South African, which is the British territory.
Yeah, don't call him a Brit if you call him up.
What is it? I don't know what you call South Africans. They call them different things. There's Afrikaans and all these.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand it, which is which.
Yeah. So yeah, get outside your comfort zone. I mean, imagine having a mentor that's like a Richard Branson, and people you can call and tap like that. How much confidence would that give you?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it just broadens your horizons. I'll tell you something I'm going to do this year. I'm taking my kid to my 16-year-old. He's turning 16 on the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking him to New York City for 3 days.
Oh, cool.
And taking Steph with me. You know what I'm going to do though? I'm going to go to New York City one weekend every month this year. That's what I'm going to do.
What are you going to do?
Nancy and I were talking about that the other day when we were calling a company about.
She mentioned you were going up there for a break.
Just to, I'll probably work up there, but just to take Jordan. And it's my birthday too. I forgot that. Yeah. So it's my birthday.
Sunday.
My birthday's 26th.
Okay, 3 days.
Yeah. So last week of the month we're going up, but I just think it's a different perspective. So you know what I mean? So you just need to broaden your perspective all the way around. Period. You need to upscale your mindset, to upgrade your mindset. You've got to upgrade your mindset. Because I think when you do, anything's possible. And that's part of what it's all about. Specific failures I've had. Wow, dude. I mean, I started off I got in a negative rut for a while as an attorney, where that's the way I thought.
Was that from just constantly being
Being in one trial after another, and just working all the time, and probably not having as much, or not realizing I had as much control over my destiny as I really did.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in this stress grind all the time. And that negative place is like a downward spiral. It really is a bad place to be.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where I found myself for a long time. And then I realized that I could go out and start my own firm, and I did. And did a general practice for several years, and broke even, essentially, and worked myself to death, and then figured out that I was about inch deep and a mile wide as far as knowledge in every practice area. I wasn't as knowledgeable in a specific practice area as I wanted to be. That was part of the problem. That's very hard. That's the X factor when you start cutting everything else out, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? Why are you still here?
Night deposit drop in at home.
Would you like me to do the night deposit? Is
That'd be wonderful.
there any money to deposit?
With cash. So.
From that last appointment.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Anna, thank you. See you later.
Citizens forms up there.
What's that?
There's citizens forms are up there. Oh, yes, citizens forms. So they're all up there.
We're getting ready to have 2 more. See ya. So, yeah, so it's hard when you're doing about everything and starting a firm, okay, to pick something and go toward it. Right. It's just impossible because you're going to cut out money. That's what your mindset is. But when you actually start cutting everything else out, trimming the fat around, or just pick something and go toward it, and become a celebrity at what you do. And that's the goal. And extremely knowledgeable about what you do. And that means anything, you know, whether it's building businesses or hotels or dunking a basketball, looking at the list that I put together, an airline, you know, electric cars, elder law, whatever it is.
Right.
And then you got to create you got to think big, bigger than you think you can think, and move up. In fact, I'm disappointed in myself that I don't have a bigger office right now. And I think I have a decent sized office. I mean, I could fill up double the space though.
Or is that something?
Not because I want a huge office, but because I need room for the people.
Is that something you'll think you'll achieve this year? Or you want to go for this year?
We'll have to double our size this year if I do my job.
So you will need a much bigger office this year.
I believe we will.
But will that be in this area? Or you were talking the other day about the idea of moving into a larger, possibly a metropolitan area like
I
Charlotte.
can't fuck it up, Robert.
No.
I can't fuck it up. Okay? I mean, the script is unwritten, brother.
Yeah.
Anything I want to do. It just depends on what my choices are. I'm writing the entire script, right?
Writing your own lives, maybe.
There you go. So let me tell you what I mean. All right. Let's just say there are 2 choices, and there's not. There's an infinite amount, right? So right here is our node, right? Will you grow it here or move somewhere else? Okay. Let's just say it's here. Sure. I grow a large mothership here. Maybe cheaper labor, right? Really qualify the applicants, get really good, fill it up with teams with 1 team lead or case manager and assistants. Here's me as an attorney, right? Maybe that's the office manager or business manager, okay? Or maybe division manager for our 3 areas of practice, right? And the assistants and another case manager, right? And then there's maybe the business manager or office manager that's over each division, right? The 3 divisions. And that's here, okay? And then there's me, okay? And I'm over it all, but then we start setting up these satellites, right? In bigger cities or different cities, right? Mm-hmm. With 1 attorney and an assistant, okay? But they're looking back here to do the majority of the work. and I have to build out to handle these, okay? And I have to make sure that these guys are profitable. And my job becomes, you might want to say managing these. That's really not where I need to spend my time.
Right.
Where I need to spend my time is I need to spend my time promoting for each of these areas, driving clients there, driving clients here to the main, because we'll still have that main office opened up too, right?
Yeah.
And then, and we've achieved here as a mothership, and I'm everywhere else too. If I want to go somewhere else, let's say it's there, okay? I can do the same thing. That's just there. It's my choice.
Right.
And why wouldn't I do it here to start out with?
You know, that kind of thing could be literally having a diagram or something like that with an explanation.
I've got a better one. Of the entire plan that I drew in like 2 minutes, and you're done, dude. It's not more complicated than that. So these are the teams, division heads, office, or my office manager likes to be called the business manager, who she will step up and is so sharp, I'm telling you. And there's an endless supply of these people, or of me, or of anybody, I'm telling you.
Right.
It's unlimited. Be fearless. You can't fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
If this is wrong, I'll learn along the way and I'll get it right. So, I'll have my business manager manage all this, okay? And if we need to have like somebody managing this office and then these, but she can manage the whole thing. She'll step up in salary and she's very ambitious. Or, if she quits, then I'll hire somebody that don't like her, okay?
Right.
I can't fuck this up. So that's how it works. And then, there you go. There's the initial concept of how to control hiring other attorneys so they can't cut your throat. But you have a great system and benefits and expectations for them in the type of practice that I'm creating.
And also got a degree of
Autonomy?
yeah.
Yes, the illusion of hope. Yes, that's what we get. Some room within the system, some wiggle room. Yeah, sure. Sure, man.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things they do at
But now you're talking about what personality do you put in one of those offices.
yeah. Yeah.
But that's another question altogether. I already know the answer. And it's not a pretty answer.
But some of these, one of them was with Google.
Let's see what this is.
I know they encourage and engage their employees in debates and forums each week to aid grievances. So they feel more connected to the company.
What do they do?
They encourage
Where do they do
debates
this?
and forums,
Google?
Google and Virgin.
And they should.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you've got all these different brains with different points of view that can add value to your company.
And the fact that they've got so many smart people working for them,
I think there's
brilliant ideas.
I think there's two reasons to do that. Why do you think that you would give your employees a chance to debate policies and procedures and everything you're doing?
One, it would make them feel more connected to the company.
Yeah, it makes them feel like they have a say so, or a vote, or control. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether they do or not. I don't know, maybe they did.
And they listen to.
And they're listening to it. Yeah, if you listen to
Whether
it.
they are, again, another matter.
Right, hopefully they are. Because it would be smart to use those smart people, right, and their ideas and input.
But then it can bring about new directions.
Yeah, sure. I agree. I just think of Steve Jobs doing that. and be like, okay, yeah, we're going to get together, we're going to talk about everything. And everybody talks, and then at the end, he's just like, okay, we're going to do it this way. Yeah, but that's not what we talked about, Steve. Okay, that's great. That's just not how we're going to do it at all, because that's stupid. So, it just depends. It depends, different systems. You know what I mean?
There was another thing that they did, and I can't find it now. It was,
If we wanted to show diagrams of something like what we're talking about, it'd be great. But this is just my personal take. I felt like I failed miserably. I was horribly freaking depressed, dude, when I couldn't make my general practice work the way I wanted to. And it's not that I couldn't have made it work. I could have kept going with it. But the problem is I saw the end of it. Okay? I mean, I saw the end game, which is
you saw the limitations of what you were doing.
exactly. I saw the limitations of what I was doing, and went a totally different direction.
Right.
I went in with another attorney and shared office space and really downsized for 2 years. And,
Okay.
and regrouped, okay? The only time that I think you should contract is if you're regrouping to come out bigger. Otherwise, you should just keep expanding. Because if you're not expanding, you're contracting. There's like no staying the same.
Right.
Because everything around you is moving and going.
Right. Yeah.
Competition, whatever else, other people, inflation, whatever. So I think you gotta have to constantly be. So I think the thought of the guys in West Palm Beach, okay, is a great thought. They may work. That may work for a few people. But I mean, that's not where I'm at. Because I want to constantly be expanding. If I did sell the firm or something, or this project that I'm working on, then it wouldn't be the end. I was just because I had some other huge project that I wanted to work on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we're working on some other things. Nancy and I are working on some other things. We're trying to figure out how to. I think we finally come to the realization that we need to fund. We need funds for an American company close by to do like the Peace of Mind app at Sage Owls. And I would like to get groups of investors in and present to them
Right. Yeah.
for an hour, 30 minutes and 30-minute question and answer over a really nice meal over an evening, and get $50 grand minimum to roll with Peace of Mind
She mentioned it was
and do it and get it done.
30
30 buy-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking to get it all the details finished out like we want it.
Right.
Let's raise 100.
Raise the bar.
Let's raise 100. Yeah, it costs 30. Let's raise. What's 10 times? $300,000. Let's raise 300. Okay, that way we have 10 times as much money as they say is the buy-in price. That way we have enough operating income to do it. That's what I think we need to do. And then, and I know how to do it now. I mean, I know how to do it already. And I mean, there's plenty of people out there in any town that can fund that kind of money.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So give me
There's
20
huge amounts of
give me
business.
20 people, 5 people at a time in front of them to pitch the concept. If it's a solid concept, and we'll raise the money.
Yeah.
And we'll give them a buy-in on the LLC or the whatever. I mean, I need to talk to Nancy about partnering up with the LLC instead of just per project. You know what I mean?
The LEC?
The LLC, the Limited Liability Company.
Oh, that's what you meant the Life Enrichment Center.
In fact, if we remind me to call her when we're done.
Yeah.
I wanted to chew on that. Okay. Because that way we'll both be fully invested. There's no question about the whole thing. And we've already brainstormed about 5 or 6 projects that we wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We'd see the money to do it. If we got the 300 grand, then we could do Sage Owls and Peace of Mind.
Right.
And have them going at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And that's been a limitation. That's a limitation. I'll tell you this. That's a limitation right now that I think is a limitation with law firms. And it's there for ethics reasons, okay? The bar feels that it limits the growth of firms. The inability to sell stock or have investors, right? Can't do it. So you got to grow it a different way. But with that idea, with the other projects we're working on, I mean, and that's multiple.
There are huge law firms. How do they get around that? I mean, if they've got 10,000, some of them got like 5,000, 10,000 lawyers working for them, right? Some of the really huge ones.
Yeah, but I think they're just on retainer for so much money from governments and large corporations.
Mm-hmm.
They have the capital to afford to hire that many attorneys.
Right.
Those are my thoughts. But you know what I should do? Is find like the head attorney for one of them and find out. I hope to bring you back that answer. Okay? So who's the head? What's the largest law firm out there? One of the largest.
I have no idea.
I'm going to call the managing partner.
An endorsement from.
This is like the Rockstar Lawyer book, okay, is also chronicling my journey to being a multi-millionaire attorney and entrepreneur, okay? And that sounds so small now. I want to be a billionaire.
Sounds cool.
Not that I care about the money, like I said. I want multiple companies. I want our technology companies to really expand and take off. I mean, that's probably where my heart would be if we, at some point, okay? I don't know if we could put that in the Rockstar Lawyer book, right?
I don't see one wrong.
Because
entrepreneurship,
it is, and we're developing products, some of them for the legal industry, and they're connected, very connected. Even say Java's.
right.
You know what I mean? But we need the capital to really do it. Hey, can I call Nancy?
Yeah.
What's her number? Was she home?
Yeah, 704 487 4536. I've got the phone.
I need it. Entrepreneurship's a funky thing, though. I really have realized just over the years just how easy.
Hello?
Hey, Nancy.
Yes.
I think, hey, hold on one second. How easy it would be just to develop any passion into a fully functioning business.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stupid businesses out there that make a lot of money, okay?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just perseverance, man, and how, many times you're willing to get kicked in the teeth. And really, you ought to be reaching up to people like that all the time anyway.
Right.
And asking for money. Learn to ask for money. I think that's a big thing. That's what we're talking about. I mean, how many times have Nancy and I beat our heads against? Hey, Nancy, how hard has it been for us? Have we been working on something for a year now?
At least.
Is it at least a year? Have we really?
Yes.
And we've really not gotten a fully functional thing. Why is that? Is that because I know you're going to say that I went the wrong direction, right? And I wouldn't listen to you? Is that because I wouldn't listen to you?
I think it was just stubbornness. I think it was a control, if we're being honest. Because, I mean...
No, did I?
I just,
Oh,
Stephanie,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I thought I called Nancy.
I felt like you wanted to, for many reasons that I may not be privileged to, you wanted to keep it in-house. That could be stubbornness, it could be control, it could have been a really good business decision. I don't know. I'm not in your head. But that's how I felt. I felt like you wanted to keep it in-house, that you felt like you could keep it affordable. You could fund the project with the funds coming in from your law firm.
Right.
And when we weren't able to find the developers that could complete the project,
maybe because it was the cost, maybe because it was the confidence. We don't really know.
Right.
I mean, we could continue going down the road of finding inexpensive developers, but we could end up 30,000 in the hole without anything, any product. So,
So you can't be, so we can't be scared to ask for money.
No, we can't be scared to ask for money.
All right. So number one, I would like to, instead of doing like some small contract per project, why don't we meet and develop and just sign all the paperwork so that we're partners on whatever company is producing all the products. And here's what I'd like to propose. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to just split up the LLC, okay? And that way, whatever we produce, we share. And then we set aside a certain percentage of the LLC. Or we think, is it more sexy and attractive to sell shares of stock? And we just roll it over to an S corporation. You know what I'm saying? Think about that too, okay? Because let's set up a certain number of shares to go out and raise money with and sell shares. That's what I think, I think we need to do. I want to do fundraising on not only Sage Owls, but also Peace of Mind, on both of them, okay? I've thought about it. We ought to be able to get enough money to do both projects. In fact, we've got other projects that we talked about for banks as well, off the Peace of Mind, right? The Trust app. There's just many different takeoffs, unlimited amount of ideas we're going to have as we're going along and doing this, okay?
Well, I think maybe with the selling of the shares, people are investing in the company that they know that the company has a future beyond just one or two apps.
Yeah.
So we're like, you're saying, well, let's just take one piece behind. I'm like, well, I'm stubborn. I came to you because I wanted Sage Owls to exist because I know that there's a need for that. Whether or not it makes more or less money than people, it helps somebody to be better, do better in their life, but or in their business with peace of mind. So I think if people are going to invest, I want to know that the company is going to grow, and we do. We have several ideas.
But I think in order for the company to grow quickly, I have to give up a lot of control. I trust you, right? See, there's the trust thing. Robert and I were talking about that, and the only way we're going to grow fast is if we just split the company and move at the speed of light. And we get investors, we get capital, and we employ the right firms to help us bring some of these projects to life.
Okay, so which company would we be splitting? The
Well,
Mercantile Technologies, or would you be splitting completely away from your law from what you were doing anyway, right?
Yeah, it's totally separate entity than a firm. Okay, so this goes along the lines of multiple streams of income as well, which we can talk about too, Robert.
When you're splitting, what exactly? I want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
All right, we need number one. Think about, and I trust.
McIntyre Technologies and move forward with the technology apps and website.
I trust your opinion. Think about this first. Does it need to be an LLC or an S corporation? Let me tell you why. Because an LLC, we can sell percentage of membership shares, okay? Right? Or not shares, but a percentage of membership, okay? It's like a membership. It's kind of like a membership share, except it's just a percentage of the LLC ownership as a passive member, but not a manager, okay? So you just you can sell passive member ownership percentages, okay? But it's almost, for me, as a sales tool, it's almost the mentality of people are that they're going to buy shares of stock, okay? If they invest, they're going to get shares of stock. Does that make sense?
Yeah, is it easier to do shares not an S corp?
Well, a corporation, period. Yeah, but it would just be a sub-S election for tax purposes. And that's how we would stay until we got over 50 employees. Then we'd have to be a C corp. And we'd have to have meetings and minutes. And I already have, I don't have a binder for, I've got a binder for McIntyre Technology Innovators LLC. Right? Nancy, you're still there?
Here.
I've got a binder for McIntyre Technologies LLC, although I need to put all the paperwork in there. So I say we run it just like any other corporation. Right now it's an LLC, okay? And that's the
So
question.
you're considering converting it to an S corporation.
Yeah, just scrapping it and just getting one that's McIntyre Technology.
Right, anyway, so you might as well go further.
I mean, I'm thrilled about that, Nancy. Thanks. So thanks for pointing that out. And yeah, so well, it is. I take full responsibility. So, what is it going to be called? Is it going to be McIntyre Technology Innovators Inc. Or are we going to call it something else?
I guess
I mean, if it's going to have ownership from both of us, then I think you should have a hand in naming the thing.
well, would we be dropping the McIntyre altogether and creating another identity?
That's fine. That's totally fine with me. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Because I don't want to take away something that you've been, building. I feel like I've known you since the beginning because you.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think Lawyer Greg's a perfect platform to sell the Peace of Mind app. Okay, right, to promote it, and then the Peace of Mind app should also have a separate site too, where it lives and you log in and you can learn about it and everything else, right? But the Lawyer Greg site is a place to promote all this stuff. It's a great place to promote Sage Owls. Okay, but there's other places where you. What? Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Lawyer Greg is like Macy's. You have all the products in one area.
Ooh, this is a great discussion.
Product is have its own storefront.
Yeah, but here's the thing, okay? Like I can go to a Ralph Lauren store, right? Or some kind of, right? But then I can go to Belk's and I see it, or I go to Macy's and I see it, or I go to Nordstrom's and I see it. It's just everywhere the customer is. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I'm saying is we want to be everywhere the customer is. Lawyer Greg's a great culture, for people who want some of these services to go and see these services and to market them to them. But there's, they'll have their own identities too and their own sites, right? Like the Peace of Mind app will have its own site, right, where you log in and use it. And it's going to be a web app. And then Sage Owls, same thing, right? Sage Owls will have its own site too. But Sage Owls will be all over the place, right? Like Sage Owls will be advertised through, AARP, for starters. All kind of other informational sites, Tipa Snow's site. You know what I'm saying? There's all kind of opportunities there to be where the customer is.
Right.
That's the way I envision the websites being developed out. Anyway, yeah, that's the way I envision the websites being developed out. And we can name it whatever we want to name it, but let's set up, and you tell me, think about it. Why don't we set up a corporation? Because the only reason I say that is if I'm pitching, literally pitching hardcore, the company that's creating Sage Owls and Peace of Mind app, I'm going to showcase those products and I'm going to talk to the people in that room and about the income potential, the upside, okay? And I'm going to convince them to spend or invest in our company because it's of its huge upside potential for them. So we're going to need to break off either a percentage ownership of an LLC, or as long as we're running the corporation and we have quarterly meetings, and keep our minutes and everything else. And I think we're all competent people. I really enjoy working with you and Robert, okay? And we're doing a lot of great work. But, we meet, we keep our minutes. As long as we do that, we're fine with the corporation. And we just document in the binder all the share stocks that are, shares and stocks that are out, right? I'll just get a new binder and I'll trash McIntyre Technologies LLC. I mean, we can get new logos for the new one, in a few days, okay? Nish did the other ones for me and did a great job. Even the video, that's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, I guess we have, but, thinking about the costs involved of developing out each program, like, it's going to cost us minimum of $60,000 to do both of those.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
The stuff that I read, how much a developer costs annually, they're not $60,000. I would think that we might be able to hire a permanent web app developer. Somebody's office that we can talk to every day, sees progress. And it's going to cost less than having to contract out each
Okay.
app.
I got you.
So I don't know if that before we go in front of them, I guess I have to find out how much it would cost. The people at the community college are very knowledgeable, and then looking up online what it costs to hire somebody in this area at that career. I just think financially, especially if we're trying money, that might be the way to go. And I've thought about that before. I'm not sure if I've shared that before, but to be able to actually hire permanently a developer, because we're going to need one to do constant updates, new projects.
Let's get more office space. Let's get more good, decent office space to put them in. If that's what we do as an in-house team, I've been part of in-house teams like that before. I've been one of those guys. But so that would be really neat. That would be awesome.
Do you keep in contact with any of your old past friends and buddies that were in it?
Not
So
much.
You call on and
Some of them, yeah.
Things on the field, or where do you think we could find a really good person?
Well, Research Triangle Park is where to go. They're all there.
I have to go take a field trip to the Research Triangle Park.
Well, they're just all in the Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Raleigh, all that whole area between Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham. That's where they are. Really, Cary would have a
We
triangle.
want to come to Cleveland County, unless we're going to be in Charlotte or somewhere else.
That's fine. I don't care. Let's just locate somewhere and do it. Or we hire a really competent team to develop it out first and run it with us. Okay? And then we can hire one guy in-house to maintenance it. I don't know. I'm fine with having in-house developers. I'm cool with that. But I just don't think there's a wrong answer there. Okay? I think we need to debate it and pick a path and go down it. But it would be nice to have, I don't know. The question is, how much money are we going to raise?
Well, I guess we have, finding out how much, we have a kind of an idea what the bottom line it would be to develop one of the apps, which would be between, $30,000 and $50,000 bottom line.
Yeah.
But how would that compare? And who knows, when you're talking to some of these investors, or, I don't know, you know them more than I do, some of the big wigs in this town. They might know somebody. They might hey, I use this person, and this is that. You might end up with some really good conversation, but.
Yeah, so I think we won't really know until we really start going after the money, okay? And I just don't want to be scared for money, to ask for money. This is going to be an amazing experience for me. I cannot wait to do it. I cannot wait. I'm excited about putting together a presentation and a prospectus, a folder, right, that we hand out in each one. We limit it to 5 people or couples, okay? Per dinner.
Right.
Let's do 5 of them. That'd be 25 people, okay? And I say whatever we need Sounds like we need about $100,000 maybe to develop both apps. Let's multiply that by 10 and make our goal $1 million. Okay? Let's make that our goal.
Yeah.
Okay? And see how close we can get. And let's roll.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
And the question is, here as an added thing too, should we get somebody that has a little more? Let's get some sage guy or gal to bring in that's just very well respected and has some maybe business experience more than we do.
Who actually does web development?
Perhaps, I'm just thinking, what if we had somebody who is extremely well respected, had a lot of business experience, and could serve as insurance for people who were investing, that this person was going to be there to make sure things went in the right direction. What if? I'm just thinking about selling the stock shares.
Right.
Just think about that, okay? So what I think we need to do is I need to put just, the control issues aside, let's trust. I'm trusting. I'm in the trust tree. And let's create a corporation, divvy the shares for ourselves, and set aside a block with X number of shares to sell for an initial offering, okay, for private stock shares to sell. And let's have investors come in and let's sell those shares to fund our venture.
Can some of those funds be a partial salary for me?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's going to get paid a salary.
Great.
Yes, I mean, there's nothing wrong with actually getting paid a salary for your work. Then it becomes an actual real job, which you're going to hate.
No, I was wanting to work on commission. That's what I was based on. I was working on commission. I mean, I came to you because I knew you had the experience and you probably had the funding. That was pretty good. I got you in there when we were working together. I just, but, and I didn't expect to get paid because you were paying for the funding of the development. So I think my balances, my checks and balances there.
I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, why don't we start an actual corporation, sell shares, get funding, and develop these apps and run them nationwide. And then we'll work into getting into different countries with Peace of Mind and Sage Owls.
Okay.
That'll be our two flagship projects to start out with.
I'm running on paper here. Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
So our next meeting, you and I make sure we sit down for an hour and a half minimum. Outline the company. I will personally create the company with no mistakes, okay? With a corporation and order the binder. Then we'll talk about dividing a pie of 10,000 shares into how many shares are yours, how many are mine. We'll be co-founders and how much we're going to be willing to split with others.
Okay. When do you have an hour and a half?
Probably this weekend. Here's why I say that. I think we're going to have to cancel the. I think we're canceling the retreat because of weather, and we might do it at the church. I just don't know. And if I have to come up to the lake, I'll come to the lake, either to your house, whatever. I'm inviting myself over. So whatever I need to do. Let's get together this weekend and do it.
Okay, Sunday. That's good.
Sounds good. Let's do it. And then let's say within the next couple of months, we want to start putting on dinners that we're going to run like, I don't know, every Tuesday and Thursday night until we do 5 of them, something like that.
Okay. Okay, because we're gonna have to expand in other places besides Cleveland County for that kind of money.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay. I mean, I know there's a lot of money in Cleveland County. I'm
Yeah.
not sure that they might give it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I think we need to go after it, okay, and be undiscouraged and undeterred, and let's make our products.
Okay, sounds good.
But we need money. I mean, that's something we haven't had in droves yet. So, I mean, if we had the money, we could just go meet with Worthwhile and say, or the other company and say, okay, here's what it is. Let's meet with your guys, your team that's already put together, and instead of us putting it together at first, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? My thoughts. We can talk about the merits of that, okay?
Okay.
But we can develop the whole thing.
We're gonna be more than an hour and a half.
Okay, fine, whatever. We can do more than an hour and a half then.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I just had these. I've just been thinking about it, and I don't want to let it die on the vine, and I don't want to quit on it. Period. Ever. Okay. So I want to.
I wasn't gonna let it in the vine, don't worry.
I know. All right.
I didn't like saying yellow vine. I know you probably felt like I was beating against a dead horse, so I wasn't gonna let it die.
Okay. Was that you or the cat?
Yeah, she's very noisy.
I'm just messing with you.
Calling it.
It's noisy pants.
All right, Nancy. It's good to talk to you.
In a
All
bit.
right, bye. All right, sorry. But I mean, sorry. I have these revelations for you. That's where I'm limiting myself with that whole thing. That's how easy it is, dude. I should have done that from the beginning. I should have done that 20 years ago, and been saying, look, we need money to do these ideas, okay?
Right.
But I mean, just how quick you're willing to move.
That's right.
How quick you're willing to
It's
move.
just the right time.
I mean, who cares? I can't. Yeah, I haven't invented a time machine yet, so I can't go back and do that. So, all in due time.
All right.
I don't know if we got any actual work accomplished tonight, but
I think we got a lot. I do. I think we got a lot.
I failed miserably though, and I've not failed miserably, but I've learned a ton. Okay, I mean, I don't look at it as a failing period, but I've learned a ton, and in no way did I ever truly fail or lose anything. I just, at one point, I regrouped and went a totally different direction.
Right.
And narrowed it down to one specialty area.
Yeah.
You know? But then, now the thoughts of having the resources and the money, see, here's how I view the money, to be able to make the things we want to make, like that Nancy's talking about, that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that should be easy. We just need the funding.
Yeah.
And then
You've got the right idea. The funding will happen.
and if you got the wrong, you look at how many wrong ideas get funded. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, I think you got to persevere, you got to believe in it, and then I have no doubt that before the end of the year we could have these projects done and out. Especially if we're taking control of teams of developers.
And if you can get Peace of Mind app running well, then you can get a bank app running almost as quickly. I mean, it wouldn't be that.
I just have them retool it. Yeah, retool it and let's bring in a banker consultant.
Right.
Let's just hire a banker consultant.
Yeah.
Out of one of the million guys they have in Charlotte working at banks, that are familiar with trust and how trust departments work within banks. Let's bring them in to tweak the Peace of Mind app for banks
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that.
as a consultant. We don't cut him in. We just hire him as a consultant.
Right.
And then he can endorse it or something, And we can get insight on how to market it directly to banks as quickly as possible. And luckily, the banking capital of the world, pretty much, is like, especially the Southeast. How about that?
Atlanta.
Isn't it Charlotte?
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know.
Pretty sure it's
I'm
Charlotte.
not.
Bank of America Stadium. Yeah, I mean, Bank of America. That's where they own Charlotte, pretty much. So
Cool.
I'm just saying, lots of possibilities. But
Absolutely.
the problem is, and you know what? And I don't even really see it until we start really talking about it, getting into it, is like who's limiting us from doing that? Who's limiting me from doing that? You. And me. You write your own script, that's right.
That's right.
I mean, what am I worried about?
Yeah,
What somebody's gonna think? You know what I'm saying?
Well, exactly.
Dude,
That's
what
what controls most of us.
yeah, dude,
lives, isn't
the
it?
fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if I get into front of 25 people? And maybe I'm wrong there. The reason I said small settings is because I think having an intimate setting is a better discussion.
Yeah.
Or something like this. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, if I pitch it, I've been a part of those pitches before for banks, for a local bank.
And do you think 25 is too many then for a small pitch? As in, not small, as in you're pitching a small thing, but a smaller group of people, more intimate.
I was saying 5 people, or limit 5 couples. How about that? Like 5. I don't know. Do you want couples or do you want the individuals? That's a good question too. My gut is saying no couples. Let's just bring the guy.
Bring the one who can make the decision.
Bring the decision maker in, and do we do it over a dinner or at a lunch? That's the ones I've been a part of are during business hours and their lunches. That I've been brought into banks to be pitched to buy like ground floor shares.
Well, I suppose at the lunch it's more. It would seem more formal if it's during business
Plus,
hours.
you don't have your significant other there telling you not to do it. Well, what are you doing? Just from a psychological standpoint.
Right.
I'm telling you, I just realized that might be a huge drawback.
I don't know, angel investors, those kind of people there, I mean, that's what they do, isn't it? That is their business. I don't know if spouses would really affect it that much.
All right, so that's one thing. Are we going to do lunches or? I mean, dude, you could I guarantee you, we can Google this and find some different comments and views on it.
Probably.
But I mean, just something to consider when we're planning it out. I think we need a plan, just like I do seminars all the time. We need to do seminars to pitch small groups on buying stock in our technology venture.
Mm.
Period. And what I was saying to Nancy was, do we want to have some sage business person with us and pillar of the community figure? Well, I'm pretty well known in the community, I think, but still a pretty young guy, I like to think. You know what I mean?
Mm.
We want somebody who's like, that we can say is with us, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he's sitting in the corner office, or an office in there, he's a consultant, right? I used to work at a company that had a guy like that. His name was Jeanette. And he was the guy that was there that just had all this business experience and had been through a lot of different companies and startups and taken them to.
So he was kind of a mentor.
He was a mentor. There you go. He was a mentor. That's what he was. That was his whole function there. And he was there so that the investors would be comfortable.
Right.
But there wasn't just, there were multi-millions that poured into this company. Okay. But Yent was there to make sure all the books and all the money and the decision making, everything went through Yent. Okay. He had a say so. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And it made everybody feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
It made him
understand.
feel good stroking checks to the company to invest in an unproven venture,
Right.
which was an awesome company, by the way. But anyway,
Interesting.
so that my thoughts are: do we get somebody local, maybe somebody who we know that could function as that person?
I mean, I can see that would be a good idea.
Like
I suppose it would.
I'm thinking of somebody right now, actually.
You think of? Oh, right. You can
Rob
email that.
Reynolds or somebody like that. He's also an accountant. Somebody like Robbie Reynolds, somebody like that, who also is a business coach and runs a company called the Business Doctor. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know. So give him that, okay? Give me enough people to put in front of. We put in front of a little bit, and with very little money spent out,
Yeah.
we'll sell our shares.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ryan's going to be racing with all this stuff going on.
Yeah, sorry, it just took that. All right, peace out. I don't know if you knew what happened on this one, but a lot of things. So we just to recap, we also have a company that we're working on different technology projects with, and we're thinking about doing it a little differently, changing the company and going after investors so we can do it quicker. All right, peace and love. Rockstar Lawyer.